Well, good morning, everybody. This is the first of what I hope to be many, many sessions of what I'm calling self love segments. This is all a play from my most recent book, the book I'm currently promoting called Becoming a Self Love Practitioner. And what I hope to do with these self love segments is to provide a space for those of you who are interested in going deeper into understanding self love and into providing or allowing the benefits, exploring the benefits that becoming a self love practitioner can bring to your life personally, privately, publicly, professionally, etc., in so many different ways. So, if you want to go deeper, if you want to move even further in to seeing extraordinary growth personally and professionally, I wanted to provide these opportunities. As I look back now over the month and a half of all the promotional videos and posts that I've done, it's quite a bit of information. And what amazes me, even as the author, is just how much more can be conveyed, can be shared, can be explored, can be examined. So typically, you would think that when a person is in my situation with a book, that they would only share so much for fear of giving too much information away at all and for free. But I don't have that fear because the topic is such a deep topic and there's so much there. And the way I wrote the book, I connect self-love to a few other principles to give you an absolutely huge spectrum of possibilities that can be investigated, explored, and enjoyed. And so it's my hope to continue to keep, as they say, riding this little wagon until the wheels fall off. And I'm doing all these things for your benefit, okay? The book and everything that I do is part of the Encouragement is Key network, which is a network that I founded and created in 2010 to provide inspiration, motivation, and encouragement to individuals, to couples, and to leaders and teams in the workplace. So it's a huge net of people that I am attempting to reach, to touch in some way, and to empower. And so I have no qualms at all about taking the time, about making the time to create different spaces, products, and things for your benefit. And this is just another in a long line of many that have been, and hopefully by the grace of God, will be created going forward. So, having said all of that, welcome to segment number one of Self Love segment. So what I want to do is to share some aspects of the books, some aspects that I've covered, and some aspects that are offshoots of what's in the book, because the book also sets you up to become an explorer of self-love yourself. So I give you tons of stuff in here, but what I do most importantly, what I've been able to do, thankfully, is to provide and set a stage for anyone interested in becoming a self-love practitioner, for you to take it to the lengths you would like to, so it doesn't begin and end with James W. Falcon. It doesn't begin and end with this book. This is just the beginning. From this book and with me, what you get is the green flag. You know, it's like the race, the car race, with the guy that's in that little perch and he waves the checkered flag, telling the drivers it's time to go. All I'm doing is waving the checkered flag, and I'm inviting and encouraging you, go, go, my friend, go. So you have the wherewithal to have at it. I'm just empowering you with some tools in the immediacy of things so that you can get started on your becoming a self-love practitioner journey. If I wanted to, and this is not in any way to boast or brag, but hear me sincerely. I'm just being totally transparent. If I wanted, I could take this out months at a time. And I'm not going to go that far, but I will take it out quite a bit. So if you want to join me, you're more than welcome. This is a journey that I have embarked on personally for the past 4 years. And I hope to continue to be on this, because as long as there is breath in our lungs, a pulse in our veins, and a heart pumping in our chest, we should want to explore the possibilities of what it is we can do to get better, to grow, to expand our horizons, as they say in many circles, to open even wider your third eye, your understanding of you as an individual and your place in this world, in this universe. That's it. That is an immense um, undertaking by itself. And so, again, this will give you a space and time 3 times a day. So some of these sessions will be pre-recorded, others I'll be live, and I'll provide an 800 number. So you can call and we can connect just briefly over the phone while the broadcasts are going on. And I can hear your questions and I can respond to you. And we can do things collaboratively. I love that word. One of my favorite quotes from the famous American industrialist Andrew Carnegie. He said, "It marks a big step in one's development when you come to realize that you can do more things with other people than you can do by yourself." In a roundabout way. I kind of boxed that a little bit, but that's basically the gist of Andrew Carnegie's quote. When you come to realize that you can do more with other people than you could ever do all by yourself. And that's what these things are about, a collaborative effort, me and you. So join me. So this will be the first session every weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. We'll cover different topics in each of those segments. So it'll be an AM, a midday, and a PM session. Listen, I don't think you can get any better than that. This is all personal, and we'll have some professional growth and development. I'm a life coach. I'm a master coach with 3 different master coaching certifications. Doesn't make me special, certainly doesn't make me better. I'm just telling you, I feel like I am aptly equipped to do these things, and I want to do them eagerly and enthusiastically. So join me. On this segment, number 1, the pilot, I want to talk to you about a powerful principle. It's a principle I outline in my book, and it's called affirmations and declarations. My listening and viewing friend, hear this, and hear me from my soul to yours, not just with your ears. So an affirmation is a deep-seated truth, something that's deeply meaningful to a person. A declaration is making a public ordinance, bringing attention to something openly. When you put the two together, you are making something that's a deep-seated, meaningful reality for you public. Okay, so the two work together and create a powerful tool that I want to share with you that works in the following ways. So we all know the quote in the saying, as above, so below. Well, there's another aspect of that. It's part of what's called a Hermetic principle. And the other part of that is as within, so without. Many times as a coach, I've noticed, and this is not a judgment or a condemnation, as a coach, I've noticed so many people want to do things, but they're stuck. They can't figure out the next step to make or to take, or maybe they've attempted to make that next step and they can't. They're stuck. They describe it as being in the mud going uphill or in quicksand, and they just can't free their feet up enough to see and to make the necessary progress. A lot of times what happens in those situations is I invite clients, I invite friends and family. We should all take a good look at what's going on inside our hearts, our heads, our souls, our spirits. Are there some things there that need to be addressed so that that freedom, that liberty can be experienced and used? Okay? And so what I want to invite you to do in this segment is to look within, take a quick snapshot of what's happening in your soul. Is your soul clutter free? Are there aspects, are there bits and pieces of brokenness from previous relationships? Are there pains? Are there disappointments? Are there broken record things that are there that just you keep replaying over and over again? If so, for you, for any of you out there hearing me, that have that as something that is experiential for you. If you're experiencing that, then this segment is especially and particularly for you. We're going to do an affirmation and a declaration, and then I'm going to share with you in doing that what it is, how to use it, so you can create your own affirmations and declarations. So, for those of you out there that have experienced relationship ills, something went south, something went sour. Maybe you had to get a divorce. Maybe somebody walked out of your life. Maybe somebody did something to you that was really painful and it's stuck inside. Now, listen, I'm going to address these things from a coaching perspective, but I always like to share as a coach, one of the most important things that you could ever do for yourself is where there is the source of deep-seated emotional pain, always think about seeking the help and the support of a counselor or a therapist, someone who is licensed in either of those disciplines, so they can help you identify and work through how to cope and how to have a healthier mindset and approach and reaction as a result of those deep-seated pains and the persons that cause them. That's a therapeutic counseling work. That's not a coach's responsibility. A coach's responsibility is to help you identify goals and to support you in your goal pursuit. That's what a coach does. So what I'm going to also do is to give you tools to help you navigate the things that have been obstacles for you. But unfortunately, I am not equipped. I am not certified. I am not apt to be able to help you move and to deal with the pain. I can help you to navigate around it so that you can continue in your pursuit of your goals. And that's what I'm going to do here with affirmations and declarations. Make sense? Okay, so seek the help of a certified licensed counselor or therapist if in our discussions, whether in this segment or in any other, we touch on some things that may be really painful. You know, sometimes we carry triggers. Triggers are things that are there, and it's just like if you've ever been out in public and somebody steps on your good pair of shoes. You're like, oh my goodness. Why should you look down? Your feet hurt, your feet hurt, your toes hurt, your feet. Your feet hurt, your toes hurt, and your kicks are scarred up now, right? That's like a trigger. So then you go into a mode. Man, I just bought these shoes. Man, I like this pair of shoes. Now this dude didn't step on. So that's a trigger. That's a problem. Something has happened that it's prompted you into a particular kind of a mindset that's reactionary. That's a trigger. So sometimes we have triggers and they lay dormant until somebody steps on our toes. And then it awakens us to the truth that something's wrong. We just didn't acknowledge that that something was there. So if ever we touch on things that may be triggers, I want you to get yourself some help. Listen, as a coach, I have a therapist, I have a counselor. And if those of you out there watching and listening, if you don't have a therapist already, I want to introduce you to a powerful resource right here on this broadcast, free of charge. You can call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. And you can tell them, you know, they will help and counsel you for non-life threatening, non-critical situations. They'll provide you general counsel and support for anything that life may have presented to you. So you don't have to be in crises to reach out to people for that line. And this is free. I give this in a packet of information to all my clients. Use the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. It is an immensely rich resource, and especially and particularly if you happen to be a person that's subjected to different types of mindset at different hours of the day or the night. You know, because sometimes when ill comes upon us in our thinking and our meditations, it's never during the work hours. Many times, I can speak for me, many times it's late at night when we start thinking over things. Sometimes we are awakened out of good sound sleep with a heaviness or a weightiness about a particular thing, an issue of the past, something of the present, or maybe something that somebody did or a relationship, and it touches us, and it touches us at odd hours. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's an anonymous service. You don't have to give your name. All you just need to do when you talk to them, if you're in crisis, tell them that right up front. If you're not, tell them that right up front. So then they know to put you into a cool kind of a conversation situation. Cool meaning it's non-life threatening and it's not crisis related. Hot and warm is when you are considering harming someone or yourself. They want to get somebody to you in a manner that's going to be an expeditious manner, and it's in a manner that's going to be expressly helpful for you. So the National Suicide Prevention Hotline is available 24/7, 365. Look up the number. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get the number for you right off the bat here. And so you can have that. So give me 1 second while I pull this up, because I want you to have everything you can get from me immediately. My apologies that I don't have it handy, but it'll just take a second. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline. This is a national service, and the number on my cell phone is moving along quite slowly. 1-800-273-8255. I'll include the number in the comments section below. Okay, excuse me. I'll include the number in the comments section below. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Use it. It's an extraordinary research. God bless the people at the Prevention Hotline. Use them, and I know they will welcome your call. In either case, we might touch on triggers, but get the help and support you need, or just talk to friends and family. Don't deal with whatever you're dealing with alone. That's the whole point of the quote I told you, of the hotline number, and I hope that you get what you need from this segment. So declarations and affirmations. Here's what I want you to do. If you have been a person plagued by some ill in a relationship, or maybe anything else in life, I want you to say this. I want you to say this. Say I, and then say your name, James W. Falcon. I acknowledge what's happened, but I, say your name, James W. Falcon, will no longer be subjugated, in bondage to, enslaved by said thing. I declare my independence from that issue today. Today, I'm declaring my freedom. I am declaring myself to be unshackled on my wrists, my ankles, my heart, my mind, my soul, and my spirit. So rewind this if you need to. I'm declaring myself free. My wrists, my ankles, my soul, my mind, my heart, my spirit, I am free. Say it again. I am free from the issues that have plagued me in the past. I declare clarity. I declare enthusiasm. I declare focus. I declare that I will sidestep the issues and continue on my road to pursuing my goals, my dreams, my aspirations. That is a declaration and an affirmation. You see how that works? Now, if you said that with your whole heart, you should have experienced some kind of an uplift. When I say declaration and aspiration, what typically happens for me is I have the hair on the back of my neck stands up, because it really is a spiritual principle. Something happens on a soul level, within, deep within who you are. The core of your being is impacted by your declarations and your aspirations. At the top of this broadcast, I told you about the principle, the Hermetic principle, as within, so without. When you start to declare things to yourself, what happens is your outside world will take on the shape and the form of what you've declared from the inside. So your very words will impact you within and around you. If you want something to change on the outside, you need to start the change process on the inside. If you want to see something manifest, that's the word nowadays that people are using in spiritual circles. If you want to see something manifest in the world around you. You've got to start the manifesting process from what you declare deep within. I am free. I am successful. I am productive. I am, and whatever you want to say. So we'll talk a lot more about declarations and affirmations going forward. But this, my listening and viewing friend, we're already at the 20-minute mark, and I think this should cover declarations and affirmations enough to get us started, but most importantly, to get you started. Let's do a few more, and we'll close out the pilot of self-love session. So this is all about self-love. Why is declarations and affirmations important to the self-love process? Because your words, what you speak what it is you speak out of the wells that exist on the inside. So when you start loving you, you start creating inner wealth. And that inner wealth can be dipped into, can be withdrawn from for your benefit first and for the benefit of people around you. So what you want to start doing is you'll start to create these helpful, whole health linked inner wealth deposits. And you can access those by what it is you say. Just try this. Try this if you're ever in a situation, or if you are presently in a situation where there is not peace. I want you to say this. Go into the midst of the situation. So in the morning in your home, if your home does not contain the peace that you wanted to have, if your job does not give you the peace that you prefer it to give you, or that you hoped it would, if a relationship you're in is not as peace-filled as you want it to be, I want you to go into the midst of it and you say, in this space, I declare my peace. In this space, I bind everything that is in opposition to my peace. In this space and in this situation, name the situation. In this situation, I bind all of the enemies of my peace. In this situation, I declare that I will have peace and rest. Say that a few times and see if that doesn't get you free on the inside. And then watch. Stand back, step back a minute and watch the situation and watch what begins to happen. Let me leave you with this. So many years ago, and I can never find this on YouTube, but many years ago, I was given a YouTube video. And it was the video, and it was a scientific experiment, actually. It was a video of some researchers that were looking at the effect of the things we say. And they had 2 styrofoam cups of water, just water in the cups. They were white styrofoam cups, your solo cups that you get from the store. Just simple, generic, white styrofoam cups, okay? And they had the cups filled to the brim with regular tap water. Watch this. And for 7 days, they spoke ill, nasty, curse-filled, dark words into 1 cup of water for 7 straight days. And do you know what happened? On the surface of the water, an algae fungus-like, thick, gooey-like substance began to form and grow on the surface of the cup of water that they spoke ill things into after 7 days. 7 days, that's what took place on the surface of the water of the 1 cup. Likewise, they took the other cup of water and they spoke peaceful blessings into that thing, nice things. I love you, and things like I adore you, things that were whole health, like affirmations, things that were pleasantries. They spoke those things into that 2nd cup of water. And do you know what formed on the surface of the water in that 2nd cup? A sweet, sugary substance and layer formed on the surface of that water. So in the one, you had something dark, algae-like, fungus-like, that literally began to form and rapidly grow. So not only was the surface of the water impacted, but the entire container of water was tainted. It was darkened. It was made undrinkable. the entire cup of water. And on the surface of the one, the water's surface was sweet and sugary. And the entire cup of water became sweet and sugary. So think about that. Which cup would you prefer to have drank from? And that's what happens in our lives. That's a true story and a true experiment that took place. It's somewhere out on YouTube. Hopefully one day I'll find that and I can be able to post that link. But that is very part and parcel of our lives. You will experience what you give way to, what you give energy to, what you lend your words to. Try it. Listen, this is the principle. Remember what I said at the beginning. I'm just giving you some tools to get you started. Explore what these tools will do for you yourself. Don't take my word for it. I'm enjoying life in a way that works for me here. I want you to enjoy it in a way that works for you there. And so I'm not passing this off like, here, take. I'm telling you this will work. Please try it so you can become a believer for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. Okay? Likewise, the cup where the cursings were spoken, that became a reality. So what is it in your life that is now a reality because of something dark you said, something that was less than a blessing? Maybe somebody's lives is bearing this sticky, gooey, algae, fungus-like stuff, and maybe they're wearing that because you assigned it to them with your words. Deep, huh? Think about it. That's why I'm having these sessions. So I get a chance in a very comfortable environment, very comfortable space to just talk to you and for you to take into consideration what's being said and for us to have a meeting of the minds, a soul to soul connection that is reciprocally empowering. Okay. So when I get the 800 number available and start putting it in the segments to come, we can actually have some dialogue, you and I, and the people on your end. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what it means to become a self-love practitioner and the benefits. But I hope that's enough to get you started for this very first segment. And all this cost you was time. No, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. It's not. It cost you more than time. It's going to cost you the surrendering of pride. It's going to cost you to lay to rest arrogance and self-sufficiency. It's going to cause you to lay to rest the fact that you've operated in a silo for so long all by yourself. It's going to cost you honesty, the honesty that maybe your practices publicly and privately have not been in promotion and in facilitation of your whole health. Maybe you've been acting contrary to what it means to becoming a self-love practice. If so, listen, no condemnation and certainly no judgment. Not for me. I'm the last person on the planet to judge or to condemn any man, any woman, because of the missteps, the horrible mistakes, and just the missed opportunities that I have done and experienced time after time. It's just been in the last 4 years that I'm getting my things together, so to speak. And that still doesn't make me perfect nor Teflon to any future mishaps, missteps, or failures. I'm still a human being, just like you. Okay? So let's grow and develop together, shall we? Join us for the next segment, which will happen 12 noon today. This is pre-recorded and shown for Monday morning at 6 a.m. The next session will happen Monday afternoon through a pre-recorded segment as well. Monday afternoon, it'll post at 12 noon. We'll do the same at 6. We'll consider Tuesday to be live, but let's just see what happens. In the meantime, whatever you do, my listening viewing friend, get, be, and stay encouraged. And as always, I bid you from my household to yours, peace and power. Take care.